Hi there, and welcome to episode 7 of Lotus or Lattes. And today's episode is called I Will Listen to You, but I Won't Listen to You. And I got this because my little guy, he's 9 years old, he was watching some of my episodes, and he said to me, Mom, how come you always have a mug in your hand when you're recording these videos? I said, oh, that's a great question. It's because they are called Lotus or Latte, and when you have a latte, you always have it in a mug, and so that's why I always have a mug. He said, yeah, but you never sip from the mug. Wouldn't you be sipping your latte? And I thought, well, that's a great observation. Yes, if I had a latte, of course I'd be sipping my latte. First of all, I would never let a good latte go to waste. And second of all, that's what you do when you're with your friends and you're having a latte. You are enjoying the company of your friends and you're enjoying your latte. So that was a great observation. But what came from that is how I actually thought about what he had said to me. He was a kid, 9 years old, who just made an observation. And I took that observation as exactly what it was. Just a thought or an observation that he had. There was no judgment associated to it. There was no criticism associated to it. He just watched it. He had a thought. He asked me. I thought it was a great observation. And there we are. However, if somebody else would have said that to me, I probably would not have reacted in the same way. So if another family member, and I think an adult, if an adult would have said that to me, I probably would have immediately heard what they said, felt frustrated or judged or criticized, and not taken that in the same vein, even though it may have just been merely an observation. As we get older, we start adding layers to very simple things. So people make observations, and as we get older, we start feeling more judged. We start getting more defensive. We start feeling more criticized. And so what happens is people will say things, and our response usually is, I feel something, and then we go right over here. And something inside of us creates the story. Now, it could have been a story from the past. Something may have happened in the past that when people say things, you feel criticized or judged. And that story, it triggers that story. And so we start, and then we get defensive or reactive. It could be something just in the present. Maybe they got you at a bad moment and you feel frustrated because maybe you feel it should have been better and it's not, and now they're calling you out on it. Whatever it is, it doesn't actually matter. The content of the story is not important. It's the pain that we feel inside of us that is actually important. So what happens is somebody says something and instantly we have some kind of emotional reaction. Anger, frustration, judgment, criticism, whatever it is. And what happens is we feel a certain way and boom, something is triggered in our brain and the story starts. Why would they say that? Who do they think they are? They don't know, whatever it is. And then we have this constant back and forwards between judgment or criticism or frustration and the thoughts rolling around with each other. So now we've just got this huge big dust ball of emotion and thought going over and over and over in a continuous ball, and that creates more suffering. And what it does is eventually when we realize that the story just ends, because ultimately everything has to have an end, it just sits there in the back of our mind, and next time somebody says something, boom, it comes to the front again, but the little dust ball has got a little bit bigger. So it's really interesting how we react to things that very often are nothing more than just an observation. Viktor Frankl is or was a famous psychologist, particularly during the Second World War. He was in a concentration camp, and he had this really fantastic quote. His quote is, between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So that really is what encapsulates everything that I'm trying to say to you, is that we need to be more aware of the space. So if we get in touch with this feeling that happens immediately, instead of just reacting quickly, we can find and we get comfortable and we start recognizing and noticing that space. Because in that space lies our power to choose, and also lies the easing and lessening of our own suffering. So that is Lotus Law 7 for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.